Goals are for losers. What? How could that possibly be? This big idea has absolutely transformed my life. It comes from a guy named Scott Adams, and he wrote a great book called How to Lose at Everything and Still Win Big. He is the creator, the genius behind Dilbert Comics, and he says he didn't get there by focusing on goals. He got there by focusing on systems. Let me explain. So goals, when we think about goals, the majority of us have somehow created goals or thought about goals, or goals have been given to us before, right? And goals are typically something that's out in the future. It's something that we can't achieve today, right? So if I'm going to do $1 million in sales, more often than not, that's like a quarterly goal, or that's an annual goal, something along those lines. If I'm going to read 30 books in a year, that's a 12-month goal, right? We're waiting to achieve it down the road. And if I was going to lose 10 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, that's not anything that I can achieve in one single day. It's down the road. And so when we think about goals and focusing on goals, we are actually losing every single day. If I'm focused on losing weight and I get on the scale every single day and it's not down 50 pounds, I'm losing. And I don't know about you, but anytime you put yourself into a challenging situation where you constantly lose over and over and over again, that can decrease your motivation. It can actually cause you to go the reverse and do the absolute opposite of what you're trying to do. And that's exactly what Scott's talking about, that people who are predominantly focused on goals, they're losers because they're never winning. And it just becomes this crazy grind that we're trying to achieve those goals and they're just not achievable in a single day. That's not fun. When it comes to living a great life, don't we want to enjoy the process? And so he says, success really is focused on systems. And so you still want to have a goal of what's your target, what are you shooting for? But then you want to have something that you can do every single day, a system. And this is our strategy for accomplishing that bigger goal. So we want to focus on the systems that when we do them day in and day out, it increases the likelihood that we're going to accomplish that longer term goal. So here's an example. So if 1 million in sales is your goal at work, then maybe the system is 10 sales calls a day. Maybe that's your system. And little by little, day by day, month by month, the goal is to eventually get to 1 million in sales. What's awesome about this type of thing, where I'm not focused on the 1 million in sales, I'm focused on 10 sales calls a day, is that at the end of the day, I can go home still feeling like a winner. And that creates what we call Mr. Mo, which is the motivation. It just creates this perpetual desire to keep going back to win again and again and again. And 9 times out of 10, I might not get a sale, right? But 1 time out of 10, I will. I just don't know where that's gonna fall. Let's take another example. How about read 30 books in a year? What might be a cool system for that? Maybe it's read 7 pages a day. Maybe something like that. Maybe it's read 15 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day. Our system is our strategy for accomplishing that goal. If our system is broken, if it's not working, then we might want to adjust that strategy, right? And create a different system or optimize the system. This is a personal goal of mine. About 3-4 years ago, I was focused on losing 50 pounds. I've since then lost 60 pounds, and it was because I stopped focusing on the goal of losing 50 pounds, and I focused on the system. And for me, that meant making sure I was moving 10,000 steps a day. That makes sure that I was eating no sugar, and within a window from 11 to 7 is what I was eating, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. That was my feeding window, right? And then I was also making sure I was focused on my sleep, because I knew that if I didn't sleep well, I was more likely to eat sugar and not move and all of those things. So I was looking for the things that might keep me from rocking my system. What I also did here is that I stopped weighing myself every single week, right? Because even on a weekly basis, when I would check in, it was this weird psychological thing that would happen to me. I'd get on the scale, and if I lost weight, I'd feel like, oh, I should reward myself. Look at me go, right? I'm starting to move the needle. But then if I didn't lose weight, I'd still beat myself up and reach for that donut or that plate of nachos or whatever. So the weighing in to see where I was at in relation to this goal every single week was not helping me reach that goal. So I focused strictly on the system, and I was able to say yes or no. I either hit those 10,000 steps or I didn't. I either ate within that window and no sugar or I didn't. And I either slept the 8 hours or I didn't. And so every single day I could keep score on whether I was winning or I was winning or learning, really is what we should be doing, in this longer pursuit of achieving the goal of losing 50 pounds. And what was so fascinating too is as I focused on this, it almost felt effortless because I kept getting more and more momentum by collecting wins. I not only lost the 50 pounds, I'm down 60 now. And as I continue to dial in my strategy and my system, I'm kind of thinking I could even go further. I didn't even know what I was capable of doing until I started building a system that worked for me. So my challenge to you with this big idea that goals are for losers is, first off, do you have goals? Is there anything that's wildly important to you that you would love to accomplish this year, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years? Goals are for losers, yes, but we still need to have some sort of direction and something that fires up that we're passionately committed to accomplishing. Now, what we want to do though, is once we've established what's wildly important to us, those goals, then what's a system you can start to implement to help you achieve that goal that makes it more likely that achieving that goal is possible? So your system is your strategy, and we want the system to be something we can do every single day, ideally. And if it's not every single day, we want to at least have it every single week or every other week or something along those lines. So for example, something that comes up for me that's not quite an everyday system, it's with my finances, and I happen to use YNAB. And so every single week, once a week, I always sit down and I log in all of our receipts and so on to make sure that our finances are always dialed in. That's my system for success with my finances. Same with my marriage. I want to make sure that every single day we're getting some moments to deeply connect, but then every single week and every single quarter, we take at least a 3 to 4 day weekend together where we unplug with the long-term goal that we're still going to be happily married 50 years from now. So rather than focusing on the end result, I'm focused on the system that helps guarantee the end result. Again, what is wildly important to you? What's your goal, right? Let's identify that, write it down. Writing it down, research shows that 9 times more likely to be successful people who write their goals down. So write your goals down and then get to work on creating a system. Your first go at creating the system may not be working. So you're going to want to keep focusing on the system, how to set it up so you feel like you're winning every single day, but you're also challenging yourself to make progress in the direction you want to go. I don't need to make 20 sales calls a day. I do want to make 10 a day. So if I only do 5 today, that means tomorrow I need to pay it back and do 15. What's going to be your system? That's it for today. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, please like, subscribe, share it with other people. Let's grow the channel. Let's change the world. And remember, goals are for losers. Have an awesome day.